we're about 24 hours removed from one of the most difficult situations I've ever been in.
Agreed.
But also one of the most rewarding. I work with a company called Scout to Hunt. They're one of the companies that we've partnered up with Canvas Cutter. In working with Scout to Hunt, they put together an opportunity for me this year to go on a mountain lion hunt. And I was super excited about that because I've never been on a lion hunt. I've always wanted to. I've always had friends that hunted lions, and we talked about doing it, but I'd never had the opportunity to do it for myself. So the last couple months, I've really been looking forward to this. And as time got closer, I was kind of deciding if I was going to shoot it with a bow or with a pistol. I even looked at a couple different guns, and I decided that I was going to try to do it with my bow. And I thought that was kind of like the scenario in my mind that I had dreamed up was always me shooting a lion with a bow.
3, 4. This one missed right, but it'll kill a lion in a tree at 20 yards easy.
And I visualized it a lot ahead of time, and in my mind it was always in a big tree in some rough, nasty canyon somewhere, and that was the experience that I wanted. I had no idea what to expect, no idea what we would get, but I made my preparations, got everything ready, and I headed north to Spanish Fork, to an Airbnb that they had put together for us, for me, myself. Conley from Scout to Hunt stayed with us there as well, and then Seth came over the morning of the hunt.
Have some granola bars, which are complimentary at the Airbnb. We have to meet everybody at 5:45. They're about 5 minutes away. And then we're headed up and out of service. I got my maps pre-downloaded. I was going to make sure I did that on Scout to Hunt. Everything's good to go for the day. Anyway, let's go see if we can find a cat. Wasn't sure where we're going to be hunting totally, so I just downloaded a big old swatch. Oh wow, no wonder it took so long. I downloaded a huge one. But at least we'll have a high quality map of the whole world, I guess. Guess we'll see how deep the snow and everything is up there. Airplane mode. Golden. That's my backup plan. Guess I can't hit it with my bow, you know? Sure my battery's good. All good. I finally got one of these freaking carrier things.
And we went over to meet up with the outfitter. So Scout to Hunt had set this up with Brady Lovelace. He's an outfitter. He lives in Payson. Lone Tree Outfitters is his outfitting business, and he pretty much is a cat fanatic.
And a super good dude.
Amazing. Yeah, he's a great guy. And just fun to hang out with, fun to hunt with. And he runs cats pretty much from the time the season's open till the quota's all shut down. Like, he goes hard. What's up, man? Good, how you doing?
Good, I'm ready.
Ben, nice to meet you.
You.
You ready to go catch a cat?
Yeah, a little tough conditions today, but
Is it?
we'll see what we can do.
Is there snow up higher, or is it just...
Yesterday there was a little bit, but we'll see what it did tonight. I don't know what it was.
Might have melted off a little with the rain, huh?
Yeah.
Either way.
You ready for this?
Yeah, yes.
We got room for this whole crew?
Yeah, we'll fit everybody.
Good. Let's go get them. I'm stoked.
So, oh, it should be good. Especially with this weather, it should be really good.
Yeah.
After it clears out anyways.
I was cruising through your Instagram getting stoked last night. Did all those videos. I was like, oh, heck yeah, I'm freaking pumped.
Yeah, for sure. I should post more, but
Yeah, you probably got a pile of good videos, huh?
a little bit.
Well, that's cool. Hopefully we can get one caught. I don't care. Shoot a little kitten or something. Make everybody mad.
I'll
Close the
make it
quota
be a
down.
little picky.
No, I'm just kidding. I want to kill
No,
a good
it's
one.
all good. Yeah, for sure.
Sweet.
But I'll clear out some room and then
'Kay.
load up and get out of here.
Sounds good. Let's go kill a lion. Got up in here a little ways, a little bit of fresh snow. Just kind of checking her out. See, it's been raining. A lot of the snow's been melting off, so it's kind of tough conditions. But I act like I know what to look for and what's going on. But I'm just repeating what Brady told me.
It's a little iffy.
Yeah. We started up in, drove down through town, and as we were going through town, we ran into John, who is Brady's father-in-law, and he also guides with him. And he'd been out checking some other places, and he told us to go check a canyon that had got some decent snow during the night. So we talked to him, pulled over on Main Street for a while.
Yeah, just right in the middle of the street.
Just stopped right in the middle of Main Street and had a good chat. And we headed up to check the first canyon that he suggested. And as soon as we got there, it was just too muddy. We could tell right from the get-go that we weren't going to be able to get anywhere. We could see a track. So we turned around and headed one canyon to the north. Basically, the system behind this type of lion hunting is you run roads on a snowmobile or in the truck or on foot until you find a fresh enough track that the dogs can light out after the lion and go try it. And so that's what we were doing. And we headed up Maple Canyon. You can only drive part of the way up, and there's a gate across it, but it does have snowmobile access. So Brady took the snowmobile up in, and he was gone for maybe, I'd say, 45 minutes or so. And he comes buzzing back down the road, and he's like, we got a track, and it's pretty fresh. He said it looks like it's got a little bit of snow in it, but it's probably from the night prior. And this was about 10 a.m. Oh, yeah. Looks pretty good size, huh?
Oh, wow.
Another one with the snowmobile in the background.
Perfect. Found a track. Let's go get a cat. Let's do it. Let's do it. Put on my gaiters even. Serious, bro.
Super serious. It's like they see that bag and they're like, yearning to go.
Oh yeah, they know what the game is now. There you go. There you go. See? Come on.
Does that look cool?
So cool.
So I jumped on first with him, and I'm expecting to ride a snowmobile across snow. But we rode that thing up rocks and dirt for a mile.
Quite a ways.
Probably
actually.
a mile. And I was just cringing the whole time.
The
because
whole time.
I'm hearing it grinding on the sleds, and the snowmobile's getting so hot, and we get to the top of the pass, and I get off. We're packing snow onto the clutch because it's so hot. And I'm like, I'll walk from here, because he kind of told me where to go, and I started walking. And then he went back down and picked you up, picked up Seth. And I started walking, and I got a pretty good ways down and around to where I thought I was getting close to the track. And
you guys caught up to me on the snowmobile as I was starting to like post hole.
Like the dogs hit it. They're about 150 yards ahead of us where the track crossed, and they're on it. So we're about a few hundred yards above where we left the snowmobile. A few hundred yards of post hole, and gonna watch and see what these dogs do. See if they do anything interesting that makes us feel like it's worth it to hike straight up this hill. It'd be cool to get one today. That'd be pretty sweet. At least put one up a tree and see it in person. That'd make all this worth it for sure. Come on. Don't doubt me, bro.
I can see it.
Come on, we're doing so good. Well, at least we can see a little bit. Get maybe a ping on the dogs. Maybe some cell service, and call the two guys that are falling behind us. Tell them to go get some more spark plugs for the snowmobile. Things we do for mountain lions. Well, we got up to this point right here, and the last place that we pinged the dogs is in that saddle right there. And that was a while ago, so who knows where they made it to by now. So now we got to reevaluate and see how we go about getting them gathered up. There's a road up on the top up here, but it's not so accessible at the moment. It'd be a heck of a hike to even get up there. Just to get to the road, and then still don't know if it gets us anywhere near them dogs. So maybe if I whistle loud, they'll just come back. They probably got it treed up.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they should by now.
They might make it all the way over to that other road.
There's a road I know that drops down the opposite ridge over there. I had a trail camp set up there a couple of years ago.
So there's where we are, and there's the last point we saw. Yeah, you know, okay, back. down the road. No, that looks like a coyote. Maybe they did cross right here.
Tap Dan.
Got him treed up. Finally got up here to where we have a good read on the dogs. We can actually hear them barking treed down the canyon. So they caught him. Now it's just we got 3 hours and he's about a mile and a half away through our favorite stuff. So we're gonna see if we can bust off of this thing and finish this thing. That'd be a heck of a hunt, epic, man, up over the top and off the back to get him killed. That'd be pretty sweet. And then we'd have a fresh back strap to cook on the fire. Let's keep going, let's do it. Let's do it. Ready? Feeling good?
So we get over there, and I remember coming down the hill to the tree, my legs locked up. I mean, just cramped. And I was like, jeez. Like, and we get over there, and Brady's like, come look over here. So we get, it's just this, all the dogs are going crazy. They're all hyped. It's around the bottom of this big pine tree, and I can see the lion. It's like 12 feet up, you know. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. He's like, come look over here. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
so
I kept on wondering what he's doing. Like
he's
he
trying
kept
to
on
show
being
me
like,
its
no, Ben,
face.
come over here. I was like, yeah, no, dude, there's a lion in there. We see it, yeah.
So I walk over to where he's at, and he's pointing. He's like, look. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it looks like a female. And he's like, no, look higher. And I like, look. He's like, there's 2. And I was like, oh, man. He's like, it's a female and a tom.
What an epic experience, period.
Right.
Then to add to it, when you get to the tree, there's 2 cats in it, male and female. He says it's the second time it's ever happened to him.
Yeah, both adults.
Both adults.
And, like, we're just in shock, right?
Radar, dude. Oh yeah, that's a great shot. Dude, thanks for that, man. That was a heck of a day.
It was a good day.
Woo! All the way over the top. And
Female still in the tree.
Yeah, I think that arrow blew right through.
Yeah.
All
He
right,
was
dogs,
dead
enough.
instant.
Get up.
Instant.
Hey.
So when we walked away from that tree, I think we all kind of felt like it was like good game. You know what I mean? We did it, guys. Make a little jaunt down to the truck, go get a burger. I mean, it was still light, and I'm thinking it's like maybe 7:15 at this point, and I'm like, we're good. You know, we'll get out here in an hour or two. So we left the tree, we walked, and we started working our way, and our plan was to side hill and stay above the snow that was in the bottom. But immediately there was a big canyon to our right that stopped us from doing that. So we had to go down, and we were just immediately fighting snow again. We were trying to stay along the edge of the canyon in between the cliff wall and the snow drifts because you could kind of walk there. And we had a few different ledge ups that were just like ridiculous.
Well, the one where we thought there was a snow bridge, and we're like, because we couldn't get down on the side we were on. We had to cross and get on the other side of the stream to hopefully drop down off, find a way to drop off the little cliff there, the little waterfall. And we thought there was a big snow bridge. So Brady threw the rock and it just
Sunk to
disappeared.
Yeah, so we that and there was a bunch of, I really think that was all a bridge. There was a bunch of deadfall over a big crevice that had been snowed on, and we all just kind of shimmied across that. And that was super sketchy. There was nowhere to walk it. We were just fighting like deadfall and snow the whole way down that. The one, I thought we were done when we got to the edge of that one.
So did I. I was
When,
super nervous.
like, Brady looked over the edge, and he's like, that's deep. And he's like, the dogs are trying to go down. We'll see what they do. And the dogs go down a little ways and immediately turn around and come back up. I'm like, oh, great.
Oh, great.
So he started fighting his way down, and I remember
I was like, you are going to die.
take it easy, Brady.
Mucho, take it easy, Brady. And what?
He's like, I'm good. And he starts sliding his way down. He's like, I think we can do it. And it was like 40 feet probably, but slick mud leading to a rock drop-off.
Slick mud, snow, where if you slide, you're just going to slide off.
Yeah,
the
if you
thing.
get out of control, you're going to fall 30 feet probably from the top to the bottom. So we started fighting our way down that and just like trying to stay in control. I remember I was the very last one to go down. I let the dogs and everything go just because I wanted to see how you guys navigated it, let you guys be the crash test dummies. You and Brady got down. All the dogs got down pretty much. I started going down, and then the dogs started coming down.
There's one dog that would not come down.
He was not doing it, and Brady's like, throw that thing. And I grabbed him by the collar and just slid him. And, like, it was – I mean, I say drop off. Like, you could slide on the rock down, and the dog just slid down. It was fine. Mm-hmm. And so I sat down. They kind of coached me, like, put your foot there, put here, and I ended up just sliding and jumping into the mud pretty much at the bottom. And that one was sketchy, but there's no way we're going back up that one either.
No, you couldn't get back up it once
No
you
way.
came down. And once we came down, I discovered something I didn't know, and that was there was a pool at the bottom of it. And the only way to move on was to like go through the first
deep
of a
water.
couple pools.
Yeah, so we all got like super wet. And up to this point, I was wearing gaiters, you were wearing gaiters, Brady was. Like, my feet were in pretty decent shape. And even like by the time we got to the dog, they were wet,
Yeah.
but not bad.
Yeah. My feet were warm, but thoroughly wet.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how mine were. And then when we got into that water, it was just both of my boots filled up with water, and that was it. From there on out, we were just prunes. But yeah, that pond that we had to cross was like probably 3 feet deep and like 40 feet long.
Yeah.
And we just slogged through it like nothing else you could do. And after that, it was just fighting deadfall, more ledges, more drop-offs, picking our way around stuff, logs, and then there was a decent trail for a little while, and then we just lose it completely.
Disappears.
Just gone in all the deadfall that had washed down, and hours we're picking down this bottom. And it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, we got to be getting close. And Brady finally got a ping. They turned on one of the dog collars at the truck, and so he's like, we're a mile. And then, like, we walked a long ways, and he's like, 0.8.
Yeah. I was like,
oh my
Brady,
gosh.
Brady, like, where's the truck? How far away? And he looks and he's like, dude, only 0.8. Like that was a short
Two tenths of a mile.
It's like, we've just been going for a solid hour and a half, 2 hours, and we've gone 0.2 of a mile.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And in my mind, I'm like, I can go a mile anywhere. I don't care. I can do any mile. I can do a mile. And, but basically just like, I'm at the point now where I'm not really that cold. Like, I'm sweated up and wet, but like my feet, I can't make my feet go where I want them to because my legs are cramped. They're not bending the right way. And it would come and go. Like, they would cramp up and then they would stop, and I would be fine for like 10 minutes, and then they would cramp. But like, I would look down at a foothold and try to put my foot on it, and I wouldn't be able to put my foot there.
Yeah.
Just because I was exhausted. And just,
I was starting to get super dizzy. Like, I'd be feeling all right, and then all of a sudden I'd get super dizzy and lightheaded. And like,
yeah. And
maybe
so
we should stop and drink some water at the stream a
Right.
couple times. But I was so exhausted, I didn't want to use any energy to pull my backpack off, get the life straw out,
yeah.
and drink.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember feeling like definitely if we need to stop and stay the night, I'm fine with that. And that's very rarely in my life have I ever like considered that as like a survival option.
My only thing about stopping and spending the night was like, what are we going to eat?
Yeah.
Are we going to eat one of the dogs or like go back and munch some lion hide?
Yeah, we had a
quarter?
little bit of meat like on the lion hide and stuff. Like, I don't know what we could have done, but we fought our way down that bottom, and after hours of this, we found boot tracks coming up. I'm like, we have to be close. Somebody came up this far. Like,
Nobody's
some
coming up
idiot
this
came up this far. And I was like, if any old idiot can get to here, we're fine. And they were walking like on a pretty main trail. And we pulled up out of there. I'm like, yeah, we're on the trail, yes. And then they went for like 100 yards and right back into the crap, man.
Yeah.
Like in and out of the water, side hilling, those big muddy oak side hills.
My gosh, it was
Like,
awful.
I could give you guys the details because it's like blasted into my brain. But finally, like the last, I'd say, Brady said 500 yards.
500 yards. Yeah, I was like, Brady, dude, like, where's the truck? Because we had, from 0.8, how long do you think it had been?
3 hours at least.
And then I was like, dude, where's the truck? He's like, probably 6. But he looks at his GPS, said 500 yards.
Yep.
For 300 of that 500,
It was another hour.
it was another suck fest.
Yeah. And so we got finally the last couple hundred yards, we hit a trail and we were motoring, and it was like, and we saw the headlights of the truck, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And like, we walked up to the truck and they're like, did you guys kill one? And no one even said anything.
We all
just
like,
stand there, like shrugging, and they're like, there's some Arby's sandwiches in the truck, and Seth is
I
immediately beelines to the truck.
it.
And we sat there and Connie's like, what happened? And I pulled that lion out of the pack and showed him. And so, yeah, and it was cool. Brady is a tough dude. I mean, he probably, compared to us, was fine. But even he said that's the second hardest line he's ever been on.
Yep.
And he's killed, guided 15 lions this year. So,
yeah,
he knows.
For the years that he's done it.
Yeah. So that made me at least feel validated in my whining about it. And I was trying not to whine, trying not to complain, but it was straight exhausted. And like you guys that are probably listening to this have heard us sit here and just talk about the difficulties of it. And it was excruciatingly difficult. Like, I hunt full time. I go on a lot of suck fests. Like, I've had 20 plus mile shed hunting days in rugged country that don't even come close to touching this. Like, I think maybe I've had one other experience that was tougher than this one, and it was where it was hot and we were dehydrated. But that's it. That's the only instance I can think of in all my years of hunting that even comes close to this.
Yeah.
And I think that it's so valuable in understanding, like, what it really means to hunt lions with hounds, because there's so many misconceptions, and I had them too, that it was the dogs do the work, right? And that's why it's unethical, because the dogs do the work. You don't do the work. You just shoot the lion.
You just turn them out. The dogs run a little ways and tree it.
Yep. And
then you just
it.
walk up
You
and
drive
shoot
up
it.
there on your snowmobile and shoot
Yep.
it. But it couldn't be farther from the truth. I mean, the amount of work and effort that we put in one day. I mean, I've never been on an elk hunt that difficult. I've never been on a deer hunt that difficult.
Not even close.
And for me, it was like an eye-opener to how tough it actually is, and how tough the guys are, and how tough the dogs are. And I'm not saying all lion hunts are like that. You know, you can get an easy one just like on anything. But it was a really cool experience for me, and really changed my perspective about what mountain lion hunting is.
Yeah, me too.
Well, it's like there's like a bunch of different names on those drainages right there. I can tell you a few of them.
So how far up the top did you make it up Maple Canyon?
We went over the top. We walked over the top.
Okay.
So we parked at the gate, Maple Canyon,
Okay.
and we let the dogs. We took that trail up the Maple Canyon side, cut a track there, and they ran it up the road and over the top.
Okay.
And they came out at Levan on foot. It's quite the day.
I know where you're.
Close this and work on the top of it. Let me do that. Pull that book right on top. Let me when you're ready.
Let's start with the teeth. One thing that we're looking at is the cougar ages, the gum peels back, or the teeth grow out, and you develop kind of a flat spot right there on the tooth, and that's kind of where they separate adults from sub-adults. So when you put your finger on there, can you feel that? Can you feel how it?
Oh, yeah, it has a little dimple there, huh?
So it's starting. So I would say this is not a very old cat,
Right.
but it's older than 2.
Right. That's kind of what we figured.
So they put that sub-adult where the tooth is smooth all the way up,
Uh-huh.
but you can start to feel that flat spot that will develop. So I'm going to put him as at least a 2-year-old cat. There's that. Let's pull the tooth on him.
We let the dogs out at 11 a.m. and by the time we got to it, it was almost dark. Figured with as far as we'd walked that we should just probably do it.
You didn't camp on the mountain then, did you?
No, we got out at midnight.
Walk down off the van side?
Yeah, we had somebody drive around and pick us up on the other side, but it was just
What was the snow depth like?
on the top. It was like 4 feet.
Were you punching holes the whole time, or were you able to stay on top?
Most of it we were post hauling. It was pretty brutal.
Where were your snowshoes?
Yeah, I wish we'd have had them. We didn't think we were going to end up that high, so we just didn't have them.
It's a lot of work.
It is. It's cool though to see them. You know, I've been around them, hunted my whole life, and glassed them up and stuff, but I never had a chance to hunt one.
It's not as easy as what everybody thinks.
Oh no, there's a lot more to it. Physically demanding, and then the amount of work it takes to get a good group of dogs.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of effort that goes into that. Okay, we got it. We got the whole route. Now, the way it's been explained to me is they'll cut it somewhere about right in there, and then count rings.
Okay, just like a tree, huh?
Yeah. We've got your customer ID. At some point after the cat is aged, that information will end up under your customer ID.
Oh, good.
And
Yeah,
so
I'd like to know that.
And so you will get that information. Okay, the other thing I need is I need to take a meat sample. We're just putting together a DNA database of animals in the central region, and cougars are one of the animals that we're doing.
Okay.
So I need to collect a meat sample. Does I cut?
Tension on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like pork.
You know, I've eaten mountain lion, and that's what I thought. It tasted like pork.
Yeah, I've had it too. I like, you can do really good chili verde with it.
See, I took a hindquarter roast and then cut it into steaks and just cooked it that way.
Was it catty? Did it have a bad flavor to it, or was it mild?
I thought it was a pork flavor. The color, the texture, everything to me reminded me of pork.
Yeah.
And it was right at that Y2K scare when the world was going to end, and I thought, okay,
Last time.
there's enough house cats, stray house
There
cats
you
running
go.
around the neighborhood. I will survive. Okay, that goes with me. We're done.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations on the cat. If you want to grab the cat, I'll open it to you.
Okay. I appreciate your help. Get him in the freezer.
Okay, you good to go.
Okay, have a good one.
Thank you, guys. Have a safe day.
Appreciate it. You too.